Now let's solve the problem that I gave you from our previous video, which is to get the population of people over the age of 90 in a given country in the year 2000. Now, before we start, I actually added some styles for our application so our app looks beautiful, or else it would be looking ugly like before. So if I remove it and refresh, it looks like this. It functions as normal, but when I added these styles back, it actually looks pretty beautiful. All right. So now let's solve the problem. So our code is still the same. I'm going to show you the solution. So first thing we got to do is go to our documentation and say, hey, is there a way we can get just provided a minimum age, because we need the people who are over the age of 90. That means people of the age 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, all the way to whatever maximum age that this API gives us. Now, if you saw, if you studied, if you did your homework, you probably saw that there's no API that gives us that. But there is an API over here that actually gives us information for all the ages. So if I go 1980 Brazil and get it out, it will actually give you the ages of, or the population of all the people by age, of age 0, of age 1, age 2, all the way to, I believe, age 100 or 101. So if I keep on going, 85, 94, and all the way to 100, right? So we get an array of information. So how can we use this to solve our problem? Our problem is to get 91, 92, all the way to 100, right? So here's the steps. The steps are, first of all, we're going to use the second API. So this API over here. And what is the difference in URL? This URL takes the population slash the year slash the country. But this one was taking an additional parameter of age. So we don't need that. So if I just come over here and just remove the age, I will get all the numbers, all right? So age 0 all the way till 100. So just to demonstrate that to you, come over here, save, refresh. If I just select something, you see the array I gets not just one item, but multiple items. So let me just zoom in over here. I get multiple items, right? And previously, we were only getting one array with one object. So now we can actually use the reduce method to go through this entire array and only pick out the ages which are over 91. So you say age 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. We're going to see if the age is more than 90. Then we're going to pick the total of that particular object and add it to our accumulator. Okay, so that's the solution. So let's code that. So over here, we're getting this information inside JSON. The same JSON, we're printing it out. We don't need this. We need to print the different total. So over here, I'm going to write my reducer. I'm going to say const total is equal to JSON dot reduce. That's going to take a callback function. And we know that a callback function of reduce takes at least two parameters. One is the accumulator, and the second one is the item that it's iterating on. Another thing that a reduce callback parameter takes, first is a callback function, and the second parameter is the initial value of the accumulator. Perfect, right? So now we're going to say if the item dot age, so this is the item, if the age property is more than 90, so I say more than 90, then we need to return accumulator plus item dot total, because we want to calculate the population. So I'm going to get the total. All right. But if that is not the case, if that item dot age is not over 90, then just return, don't add the new total, just return the accumulator like such. So that should solve our problem actually, and that's the solution. Not that difficult, but you just got to think like a developer. Now we got the new total, which goes through the entire loop, adds any of the items which are over the age of 90, adds it to the accumulator, everything is saved in total, and I can actually set that over here, like such. Total. That's it. That's our solution. So if I come over here, refresh, now if I go to Afghanistan, or actually Algeria, I get that number. Let's say if you go to Pakistan, Pakistan had 41,000 people in the year 2000 over the age of 90. Let's say if I go to India, 383,000. A lot of people, right? China, that should be pretty big as well. But let's say a small country like Chile, they're a small country, right? Maybe. What about Canada? Canada had 96,000 people. So that is your solution. You saw how we solved it. And now with your knowledge, you can actually make this even more complex, and you can have a drop-down menu over here for selecting the year. You can put a drop-down menu over here for selecting the age or the range of ages or all the ages. And if you had the thing that, hey, you want all the people, the total population, not regardless of the age, you don't even need to do that. You would actually go through the entire reducer without these parameters. You would not have any of this. You would use a reducer but without the parameters, and this would actually calculate the entire loop. So it's going to give you the total population. So now if I refresh, if I go to, let's say, Pakistan now, these are the number of people in the year 2000. So you just change certain parameters and you would get different outcomes. So that is the power of understanding how to code, because when you have data, you can use that data, modify that data, get whatever data you want. That's the power of using APIs. So you get that data and you do something with it. So that's your initial small but meaningful example to building applications. And that's what web developers do most of the time. Solve these problems with the different tools we have. Talk to you in the next lesson.